Hey, good morning, and sleepy morning. Sunday, definitely an underwhelming kind of morning. It is rainy out here. We slept in. It was raining yesterday. It was raining all weekend. I don't know what the weather is like your way, but here in sunny Florida, it's not so sunny. Good morning to you. If you're first time on the Daily Dose, welcome to the Daily Dose. I hope this isn't ending up being underwhelming for you. We're actually going to be talking about overwhelm and how overwhelming weight loss can be. If you're over 40 and weight loss is a bit overwhelming for you, this message is for you this morning. Happy Sunday to you. I hope you've had a great weekend despite maybe the rain, despite the weather your way. And I'm just grateful first that God gave me another day to wake up regarding whether or not it rains or sunny or, storms or snowstorms. We haven't had any snowstorms here in Florida. Not for a long time. There was snow here once. A long time ago, before I got here. I've been here now about 19 years. And I believe just a few years prior to that, maybe in the late 90s, there was some rain or there was some snow. And I remember them closing off. But here, I'm not the weatherman, so let's get off of the subject of rain and subject of weather. In my home office, my second office here in the car, in the parking lot, or in my driveway. So let's talk about overwhelm. If you're over 40 and you're overwhelmed with losing weight, my question to you is this. Think back to the times where, like, you were a kid. And I remember my daughter's learning how to drive. She's a teenager now. She's 15. It's kind of like this. And she's starting to drive, and it's a little bit scary. She parks away from all the other cars, and driving, she's a little extra cautious. And, when dad's sitting next to her, of course, she's even more cautious. And I remember back when I was her age learning how to drive for the first time. And it was really overwhelming, right? It was really, really overwhelming. And I also think playing sports for the first time. I remember learning, this is back, a long, long time ago, maybe a long time for you as well, is thinking back at the times where you were trying out for a team in high school or maybe middle school or sports team, soccer or basketball or track. It's overwhelming, right? There was a bit of stress. It's a bit overwhelming, but the overwhelm was there because you really, really wanted to get on that team. For me, the stress, the overwhelm was there because I really, really wanted to drive, right? I knew if I didn't practice, if I didn't pass my exam, in fact, my daughter today in the rain has a driving, they have people that come and you can do private driving lessons with instead of doing like driver's ed in school. We had driver's ed, and I remember it was with our gym teacher, and it was really a joke. So we have somebody coming today for my daughter to take her out to do some driving. Now, she's been driving with us, since she's been 15, here a little bit here and there, not on any main roads. But it's overwhelming, right? There's a bit of stress. But I know she really wants to drive, just like I really wanted to drive, just like I really wanted to get on the team. I know even here we live at the beach, and I remember our kids growing up, more so my son than my daughter, but he really wanted to stand up on a surfboard. But it can be a little overwhelming. Think about this when you're down at the beach, and when my son was learning how to surf. Now, mind you, he's 17, and he can surf big waves, paddle into big waves and catch some of the best waves of his life. But when he was a kid, I remember Dad used to push him on some waves, and it wasn't all that fun because he was having a hard time standing up, and he'd see other people surfing, having fun, and he was just learning. It's a bit overwhelming. But he, again, wanted to surf really, really bad. Same thing in a skate park, doing the skating, same thing. So my question to you is being overwhelmed, wanting to lose weight, all that bad? Now, I'm gonna kind of just give you something to chew on today. Is maybe you've been struggling on this weight loss journey, but Mark, I've been struggling on this weight loss path of mine for years and years and years. And while I'm sorry to hear that, the good news is, if you're overwhelmed, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because here's what I know. If you're overwhelmed with weight loss, as if you're overwhelmed, it means you're in the active process of trying to lose the weight. Even if you've been failing, even if you've had a struggle for the last, 6 months, 6 years, maybe 2 or 3 decades, you've been struggling. The fact is you did not give up on it. So there may be some overwhelm there. Maybe you've tried and you succeeded, then you put the weight back on and you're realizing, gosh, losing weight in my 50s is not nearly like it was in my 30s. And I think that's pretty much par for the course. 99.999% of the people out there know it's harder when you get older. And it can be very overwhelming. But here's the good news. The overwhelm means that you want it bad enough, like I wanted to drive and my daughter wants to drive bad enough, like I wanted to get on a team, and it was a bit overwhelming to try to get on the team. There was some stress, a little bit of anxiety, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. What can happen though, hear me out on this, what can happen, and what I see far too often happen for people, is weight loss. When you start to get on whatever path you're on in this weight loss journey, the overwhelm gets to be, you say, too much. Like the person says, oh, this is just too overwhelming. And then guess what happens? You give up. The only time you don't succeed in your weight loss journey is the time you give up. That's the only time. You can make mistakes along the way. Shoot, I've made mistakes along the way. I know many people that I even work with make mistakes along the way. And the overwhelm is there, and you have the option to do one of two things, is to look at what you have to look forward to once that weight comes off, or just allow overwhelm to get the best of you and just allow yourself to quit. That's my question to you today on the Sunday is while it's raining here, right? Raining down. I want the success to rain down on you. And how do you become successful? Okay, Mark, so you're telling me not to get overwhelmed. Okay. Or you're telling me overwhelm is actually not a bad thing, right? Okay. So there's a difference. If you're getting overwhelmed over doing the same thing you've been doing years and years and years, and you're not getting results, that would be enough for me to want to quit. I don't know about you, but if you've been doing the same, that's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same results, which is no results. So maybe the overwhelm is just, you're just frustrated and just, disappointed in yourself. But I will say this, if you're overwhelmed, don't discount that. Being overwhelmed is much better than being underwhelmed. Let me ask you this. Would you rather go through life being underwhelmed? Think about this. If you've been overweight and you just don't care and you just want to, sit back and let life go by and realize that life's only going to get harder and life is harder, and you're overweight and you're out of shape and you're unhealthy and you're high risk and you have a low immune system, and you're at a high risk for a lot of things to happen. It's inevitable. It's coming, whether it's tomorrow or in the next 6 weeks or the next 6 months or the next 6 years, it's going to come. I would say the overwhelming fear of waiting for something to happen is going to be far worse than the overwhelm of wanting to lose the weight and get it off forever. Does that make sense? And if you're just catching this, if you're jumping on here, I did a little late dose. It's not a long one today. It's a late dose. I got up and I was thinking to myself, there's a lot of things in this life right now I think about being overwhelmed with. I have a team of people that work with me. I have an amazing group of men and women over 40 who rely on me to help coach them to get the weight off, to help them get on a healthier path, to make what's overwhelming easier, to make the path of overwhelm a little easier, in a sense of not just going through the same series of over and over and over again of ups and downs in the weight loss journey, to try to change the course, the path that they're on. So there's an overwhelm for me as a coach, working with a number of people, helping them on a health and fitness journey. But I actually love it. I want to soak up the overwhelm. Can you embrace today? Let's embrace the overwhelm. Let's just, if we were to embrace it together, maybe we can just claim it and say, Mark, I'm not where I'm at right now. I maybe failed, my diet. I'm going to give myself an F for my diet and my health in this past month, in this past year, maybe this past 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I've really been failing my health, failing myself with regards to that. But I'm still overwhelmed, and that's a good thing, because it means I'm not giving up, right? It means I'm not giving up on this. If you're not giving up, be proud of yourself for still fighting the good fight. The most successful, let's just finish with this. The most successful, at least for me, I know for a fact, even in my journey of success in all avenues of life, in my faith, in my family, in my finances, right? In my in my career path, I know in all of those things, the overwhelm was there, but how I became the most successful is actually working through the overwhelm. Because life's not meant to actually be lived underwhelmed. Can you imagine living life underwhelmed your whole life? Overwhelm is not necessarily a bad thing, but you can turn it into a bad thing if you're going around and you're not really succeeding. You're having overwhelm and more overwhelm and more overwhelm. The good news is you haven't given up, because as soon as you give up, the overwhelm goes away, right? That's easy. It's an easy thing to give up on your weight loss. It's an easy thing to give up, say, if you're on a weight loss program or on a gym membership or working with a personal trainer or having a coach. It's easy. It's easy because then it just takes the pressure off. But guess what? The weight's still there. You're still overweight. You're still out of shape. You're still unhealthy. Your immune system is still bad, or at least worse than if you were to actually move forward with that overwhelm, having clarity. So now you have the overwhelm. How do you get beyond the overwhelm? Well, you get the clarity that you need. You get the accountability, the support that you need in order to overcome the overwhelm. Because there's nothing greater than I see clients come through the overwhelm on the other side, and they're saying to themselves, Mark, I'm so glad I stuck with this. Mark, I'm so glad I didn't give up. Mark, I'm so grateful that you kept after me to staying on the right path. Mark, I'm so grateful that you helped me look beyond the overwhelm into seeing the potential for my life and my health by moving forward rather than to just stay stuck or to stay in a case of overwhelm. So my encouragement to you is, if you're feeling overwhelmed on the Sunday morning, is to actually embrace the overwhelm, realizing that it's not nearly, honestly, as bad as underwhelmed can be. And underwhelmed, right, that just doesn't even sound appealing at all. Does it? No, I don't think so. So be grateful. If you're maybe not there, if you're 20, 30, 50 pounds overweight, you're unhealthy, you're out of shape, you're over 40, you're on the struggle bus, your hormones are all out of whack, you don't have any time, take a breath, embrace the overwhelm, but don't stay there. Don't stay there. Get the help that you need. You want to see success. You want to come through the other side of overwhelm. Get the help that you need. Now, I'm only one coach, and I might not be even the solution for you, but I am the solution for a lot of men and women over 40 who are embracing the fact that overwhelm is there, but they have to move forward. They need clarity. They need an understanding of what they should do or shouldn't do, how to exercise, how not to exercise, what they should be eating, what they shouldn't be eating. Like, the time is running out. As we get older, time is running out. And mind you, if you're a man or woman of faith, we know that this is only temporary anyway. But why not live it to the fullest that you have available to you, or at least the opportunity to maximize your absolute fullest and best potential by being in the greatest shape of your life. If you want to become the best of the best in your life that's here just in a short time, let's do this. Let's get through the overwhelm together. Reach out to me. Just send me a message. Just put the word overwhelm. Send me a private message with the word overwhelm. We'll see if I can help you. We'll see if my program is not the right fit for you. If it is, you are going to be on a journey through the overwhelm. It will be overwhelming at first, but it'll be well worth it. You guys have an amazing Sunday. Take care and God bless.